Hi, thanks so much for joining me. This video is going to be what we're currently reading and then what books, like I went through my entire book cart, my daughter went through her entire book cart, what books we plan to read the remaining of October, the remaining weeks of October, and then November mainly. So this is what I'm currently reading. It's Neil Gaiman, the Graveyard Book. So I actually just finished another one of his books. I'll talk about it in my end of the month video, but I really like his writing, like how he gets to the point in his writing. Like, he doesn't beat around the bush, he doesn't use an excessive amount of words. He kind of so I was like, you know what, I just finished a Neil Gaiman book, so I just started this one. I'm literally only a few pages in, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it or even finish it, but so far I like it. And it is a graveyard book, and it's like middle grade fiction. I think it's like kind of based on this boy who lives in a graveyard. And yeah, so I'll talk about it more if I really like it and stuff like that. But that's what I'm currently reading, you guys. And then I actually started multiple books. I do that very often. I'm also currently reading Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. Now, I'm not very far in Dickens, in this book by Dickens either. I'm starting chapter 3. Oliver Twist, of course, is a classic about an orphan. And reading Dickens is so dense. Like, his writing is so dense. It's like written so long ago. It really takes a lot of concentration for me, and I really have trouble focusing on reading multiple things at once when I'm reading Dickens. So I just started it, but I quickly realized I got off track, and I wanted to just read another Neil Gaiman because I finished Coraline, actually. So I got off track, but I did start it. So this is definitely on my TBR. I definitely want to finish this by the end of the year. I don't know if I'll get to it in October or November, but I definitely want to. Another book I started, Frankenstein. Now, I got a little bit further in Frankenstein, but again, it's one of those like old classics that the writing is just like very dense and old, and like I just have trouble concentrating on. It's just very slow moving so far. I got distracted reading other things. So yeah, I'm like, I like the writing. I love the writing, but I'm just like, I just put it aside. But yeah, so this is my TBR because I already started it. Okay, another book I started. So I have like 2 more that I started in the past few weeks that I haven't finished. This one is Amar Told. So this is definitely adult fiction. This is The Lincoln Highway. I didn't get very far in this book. I just wanted to make sure I liked the way it was going, and I approved it. So I know that I do want to work on it, but I haven't really got far. And it's it's like a big guy. It's 560 something pages. So it's basically about this guy who just juvenile work farm. It sounds like form, and those farm, F-A-R-M, the way I say it. He just got out of a 18-year-old inmate driven home by the warden of the juvenile work farm, where he has just served 15 months for involuntary manslaughter. So it's like him when he gets out of that work farm situation, and I'm not sure yet, but this is definitely on my TBR. I really want to finish it, or at least get further to see if I'll like it. Sometimes I would literally get like this far in a book and I'll just put it down and I won't ever pick it up. So we will see. Another one I started that is on my... I really want to finish these books by the end of the year, but I don't know if I will. But this is Henry James, The Portrait of a Lady. This one also very large. This one is like, this copy is over 800 pages. And I got not very far. It's just literally an older classic, written in the 1800s. And to be honest, this is like my least favorite. Out of all the ones I just showed you guys, I just don't know if I'm going to finish it. I need to sit down and give it a little bit more time. But this one's kind of, I'm on the fence. Like, I'm on the verge of like DNFing it. And I've done that before, and then I've picked it up again. And then sometimes I don't like it so much that I'll just sell it back to Half Price Books or something like that. But this one, my husband's interested in reading it, I believe. So I'm not sure. I think it's just like a romance type novel. It's like, Oh, the difference, yeah, between European and American cultures, and it's like rich people. But I don't know. I like the writing, but sometimes I'm just not, I don't know. Okay. So these two, okay, this one I'm rereading. I'm halfway through it. I love this book. I included it in so many videos, so I'm not going to talk about it much, but it's a dictionary of obscure sorrows. I'm going to also link everything in the description. This book is just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like poetry. It's like this author, I call him a poet. I don't know if it's not really poetry, but it's like he makes up these words. They're just like descriptive ways of describing moods and feelings. And he also has these kind of longer form writings, and he has like all these illustrations in here. It's beautiful, and I'm rereading it, so I just need to get on it. Like, it's pretty quick read. The next one is Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, and this is poetry. So this isn't something I would normally read in one setting, but I need to just start it, and I haven't started it yet. I read his poetry years ago, like many years ago, on and off along the years. This is something that I want to get in the habit of starting it just from the beginning and reading a poem every day. And now that I'm talking about this out loud, I'm honestly thinking I might put this aside for January 1st and just start it at the beginning of the year, and then just focus on this one the rest of the year. Because even though this isn't technically poetry, it's just this beautiful book like of words and things. Now, another book I finished last month, and I included it in my last month, like end of the month reading review video, was Beloved by Toni Morrison. So I have 2 more Toni Morrison books, Jazz and Song of Solomon, that have been sitting on my book cart unread. So I really would like to get to these by the end of the year. And so now that this is like very ambitious for me, I don't know if I'm going to get to all these, of course. But yeah, so since I read Beloved, I want to continue my Toni Morrison, reading. I would love to get to these modern classics. I love Toni Morrison's writing. She's one of my top five authors for beautiful prose. So I plan to hopefully get to these. And I'll definitely talk about these books, of course. I always talk about books in depth to a certain degree when I do my end of the month review. So if you like seeing stuff like that, definitely check those videos out. So here's 2 more classics. Again, Charles Dickens. You can see I mentioned Oliver Twist. So when I start reading one author, I want to read everything by them. So I really, 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 really love Great Expectations. It's one of my favorite books. So this is A Tale of Two Cities. And I don't know, this one actually, it didn't pique my interest as much as Oliver Twist and Alice in Wonderland are both 2 books that I would like to possibly get to by the end of the year. I don't know if I will. But now I'm going to talk about what my daughter's currently reading and the books that she put aside that I asked her for this video that she wants to get to by the end of the year. Because she's like me, she reads multiple books at once, and she's kind of a mood reader too. So since she's homeschooled, she has an independent reading book that she reads every day for timed reading, and then she's always reading a personal book. This is what she's reading for homeschool. She put this book down, but then she picked it back up. It's The Last Gate of the Emperor. Here is the authors. I'm really bad pronouncing names, but this is middle grade fiction, and I'm not really sure how to describe it. I'm not sure if it's actually fantasy, but it definitely has says monsters and things like that. She really loves fantasy, so it's kind of one of those books that's hard to describe, but we'll definitely talk about this if I do that review, when we do the review. She said she really likes it. So this is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. This is book 1 in the series. This book, I believe, is YA. And this is her first book that she's actually read by Rick Riordan. She's read a lot of Rick Riordan Presents books, but it's about a boy. His mother died 6 years ago, and he's traveling the globe with his father, an Egyptologist. So he's also homeschooled. His younger sister has been living with their grandparents in London. Okay, so I'm trying to see if it's mythology or fantasy, or I don't know. It kind of talks about ancient Egypt. I don't know exactly what it is, what it's classified as. But he writes a lot of mythology books, Rick Riordan. So my daughter hasn't completed the Heartwood Hotel series. I finished this series as an adult. I even enjoyed them chapter books. These are chapter books. The Heartwood Hotel series, they're so cute. Really cute characters. So she only read the first one. So she wants to finish 2, 3, and 4 by the end of the year. And these are really nice to read in the winter because like it's like they do like seasons kind of. So this one's like a winter one. Yeah. So she really wants to finish the series because she liked the first one. So that's on her TBR for October, November. And then this one is Divide by Elizabeth K. This is also middle grade. And it is, again, it's some type of like fantasy, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So this one is like Harry Potter, The Tales of Beedle and the Bard by J.K. Rowling or Rowling. I always forget if it's Rowling or Rowling. Okay. So this one's not very big. Not even sure what it is. But she picked this out. Oh, it's a collection of stories written for young wizards and witches. Okay. So it's a collection of short stories, it seems like. Okay. So this one, she wants to finish The Lord of the Rings. Well, this is part 1. She read The Hobbit. And so this one is a classic that she said she really wants to finish. Continuing with middle grade, this is Warriors Into the Wild by Aaron Hunter. So this is book 1. I know they have so many different series of these. I don't know if this is like the original Warriors, but there's so many different ones. But I don't think she's even started it. But this was one of the books she said she really wants to read by the end of the year. And then the last one, I think I talked about it in another video. But it is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Yeah. So she said she really wants to read this by the end of the year. And yeah, so that is our plans for our October, November / December reading. But like I said, I really don't think we're going to be getting a lot of reading done in December, other than maybe finishing some books that we're, in the middle of or something like that. But yeah, so that is our TBR. And thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye.